So guys, nice question for you. You have to sit down and check. Very happy about both. I feel a little. I feel this. Guys,
hey, you guys want to move on?
Great. That's the time.
Josh, Dylan! Yes, eat something.
Hi, little brother. Hi.
We're high, let's get high.
Happy like moment for all. Very happy.
This year, there's something very, very, very interesting and special in the year when it comes to Lag Bomer. Usually, the intense energy the intense energy of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai is captured on a mountaintop in the hills of the hills of the Galilee, in the north of Eretz Yisrael, in the Galil, where Reb Shimon Bar Yochai is his resting place, has within it the word, you see it's set for Reb Shimon Bar Yochai because Galil has the word Gal. Gal is Lag Bomer. It's a very, 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 very special place. Lag Bomer is where the concentration of the Jewish heart and the Jewish soul flares up in a way, like the Bnei Yissaschar says, in a way that is, the Bnei Yissaschar says that I heard that they say that what's happening in Lag Bomer, in Meron, the simcha that's there is Lamayla Maderach HaTeva. The Bnei Yissaschar says this 200 years ago. Lag Bomer is one of these Yomim Tovim that became more and more and more intense as we move to the end, closer to Mashiach. And yet, in his days already, the Bnei Yissaschar says that Lag Bomer is Lamayla Maderach HaTeva. In other words, there's a simcha, there's a joy in Meron. But Reb Shimon Bar Yochai on the mountain, as this week's parsha is called Behar. It occurred to me last night that Behar is gematria 207. So it's the same gematria as the word Raz. Raz means secret. Which mountain are we talking about? The mountain of secrets, where the secrets of the Zohar were revealed, on the mountain of Meron. So every year, this collective energy and fire that is so intense, is so powerful, the klois hanefesh of the Jewish people, the simcha, the joy, it's not describable, and the unity and the oneness of every type of Jew, and it feels so much literally like Aliyah L'Regel. Anybody that has gone, it feels like you're going up to see godliness. You can feel the energy. Yidden going up to Meron, going up to the great joy, to the great simcha, on the mountain of mystery, on the mountain of secret, where the secret of the Jew bonds with the secret of the Ein Sof, with the secret of God, the Raz of the Neshama, the secret of the soul, the deepest, innermost of the soul that doesn't always reveal itself. But on Lag BaOmer is the day of secret. The secret comes out. The Neid Hashem Nishmas Adam, the flame of the soul, which is the Neid Hashem, the light of Yudke Vavke, which is Nishmas Adam, which is the soul of every human being, of every Jewish man or woman. That fire comes forth, even though it's a candle. But when we have a few 100,000 candles together, it makes a huge hadlaka. It creates a huge blazing fire. And it's just indescribable. And every year it happens on the mountain, on the Bahar, on the mountain. And this year, Meron has been closed. There is some fires that are happening there. It's 3 minyanim. It's restricted because of the war, because of what kind of reasons. These are chitzainistic reasons. We all understand that a war and these things don't have much to say when it comes to Reb Shimon Bar Yochai and Reb Shimon Bar Yochai's simcha. But like the Rebbe says, kalkalasai takanasai. Like the Gemara says regarding many things, that the kalkala itself, that because the Rebbe uses it on Simchas Beis Sheva, that because we don't have Simchas Beis Sheva in the Beis Hamikdash in which they used music, so therefore we're able to have Simchas Beis Sheva already the first night, because they didn't make Simchas Beis Sheva the first night, even though they did Sheva the first day of Sukkot, but they didn't use musical instruments because that's a problem. They wait for the second night. But today, since it's outside of the Beis Hamikdash, we can already start Simchas Beis Sheva the first night. Kalkalasa yutakanasa. The fact that Reb Shimon Bar Yochai is not having a celebration in his home means that Reb Shimon Bar Yochai is not on home court. He's going everywhere. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai is traveling the world over. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai tonight is everywhere, and especially everywhere we celebrate. And usually celebrations happen everywhere, and only a ray of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai goes to all these places. Because he's mainly has to be with his Yidden that are in Meron, that come to visit him. But this year, he has to travel, because not much happening over there. He has to be on the Rebbe's there, with a minion of Chassidim. But okay, that's not anywhere close to the joy of Meron that is usually. So where is Reb Shimon Bar Yochai? He's all over. He's everywhere. He's with us tonight here in Los Angeles. Someone once shared with me Rabbi Kessin, the famous Rabbi Kessin from YouTube. the one who's my chavrusa when it comes to Mashiach teachings. But he's from Lakewood, and now it's very. So Rabbi Kessen's son lives over here. So he told me that the what is it called? The latitude of Los Angeles is the same latitude like Meron. It's 33, 31, 30, 32, 33. We're very, very, very plugged in to that energy over here in Los Angeles. So Reb Shimon Bar Yochai is with us here tonight in a very, very palpable way. I heard that Rabbi Morgenstern, there's a great Kabbalist in Yerushalayim, Rabbi Morgenstern, who's a big makubal, but he's good friends, as I think he's of Rabbi Ginsburg, Rabbi Yitzchak Ginsburg, big, huge makubal, very, very well versed in Chassidus, a huge bucky in Chassidus Chabad. That's why the Chabadniks can actually hear a word from him. So Rabbi Morgenstern said an interesting idea. He asked the question why this year Meron is shut down. And he said, because Reb Shimon Bar Yochai says in Masechta Sukkah, Daf Nun Aleph, and the famous statement of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai says, Yochel ani lifter es ha'olam. I am able to bring exemption for the entire world. I'm able to find merit for the entire world, to vindicate the entire world. He says, I'm able to, and he says, and if I have with me Yotam, the son of Iziyahu, who is one of the kings of Malchus Beis David, because he lived a long time ago, he's not like Reb Shayel of Christia that everybody goes to, because we don't, he happened a long time ago. So, it says even a tzaddik, even a Sefer Torah Shebe Heichel is totally b'mazel. It's dependent on mazel. So we have Reb Shayel, Reb Nachman. So Rabbi Yotam, who is one of the kings of Malchus Beis David, from all the people in the world that Reb Shimon Bar Yochai can take as a chavrusa, and says that if I only pair it up with him, then we can clear the entire world from judgment from the beginning of the world at Sofo until the end. What's the end? He says the end is the generation by Mashiach. Ikvasa the Mashiach. That means he can clear, he can be malamet chus and take away all the dinim that there are in the world, any kind of judgment that's here. Even when we're under the malchus of Bey Din, and him is Din. Even under that, all the dinim. Anybody chap that? No one chap. Okay, good. There's no, that even chas v'shalom, there are judgments, Reb Shimon Bar Yochai can remove all of that together with Yotam, the son of Iziyahu. Where is he buried, Yotam? He's buried in Kever David HaMelech. In Yerushalayim, there is a kever from Malchus Beis David. There's a question if that's the real place. The Friediger Rebbe, however, did believe that David HaMelech is buried in that place, because the Friediger Rebbe sent that they should have a Chevra Tehillim saying Tehillim over there all the time, by the kever of David HaMelech. I'm not sure if he visited himself. I think the Friediger Rebbe went to that kever as well, to David HaMelech. So Rabbi Morgenstern said it's a very interesting word. He says that because we need now to be poiter as kala olam and adin, so Reb Shimon Bar Yochai has to team up with Yotam, the son of the Malchus Beis David, and he says that that's Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben David coming together. So therefore, he's going to have to, the celebrations are not in Meron. Instead, he says we should make the celebrations by Kever David HaMelech, which has all the Malchus Beis David, including Yotam. So Reb Shimon Bar Yochai is going to, tomorrow they're going to have 2:00 in the afternoon, a huge adlaka and a huge celebration over there. So you have the pairing up of these energies. Wow. So I don't know exactly, but I know it's very interesting. Bechlal, you see that the last couple of years, there's been a lot of tension regarding Meron. Meron is one of the things that have not been celebrated normally in the last couple of years. The first time it was shut down was during COVID. Like for hundreds of years, Jews have been in the days of the Arizal. There was a pilgrimage of Jews going up to Meron. And the days of the Holy Ari, people were going up to Meron all the time. It was an old tradition, and it was an uninterrupted tradition. By COVID, they shut down Meron. And then the year later, when it finally reopened, we had the incomprehensible story of the passing away of 45 of the holiest Jews who were crushed in the accident that happened on Mount Meron. This was so COVID was in 2020. This was in 2021. 2022, they allowed people to come, but it was restrictions with quotas. You went on. You were only allowed to be on the mountain for 3 hours. You had to get a license to go. They scanned your code. Everybody had to come in. You had to have a ticket to go. Crazy restrictions. So it was 22 and 23, and this year it's canceled again. So there seems to be some kind of something going on with Meron. Out of all places, this one celebration that is so powerful is now seeming to be having obstacles. So today I saw in which sefer was it? I don't remember. It's a likut. I had a likut. So I don't remember who he brings it from, but he brings it from one of the Chassidish Sfarim. That maybe from one of the Sadigerer Rebbes, I'm not sure, or maybe before. He brings over there an interesting thing that the Meron, the Tzion of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai Meron, that's the Beis Hamikdash in the time of Golus. It actually fits with what it says in Chassidus. It brings, the Alter Rebbe says in Chassidus, the Alter Rebbe says in a Maimer, that for people like Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, the Beis Hamikdash was never destroyed. To them, the Beis Hamikdash, they're living in a frequency above the exile. There's no gullus, there's no exile. God is still present in this world, in the world where Reb Shimon Bar Yochai lives. So it makes sense that his resting place is the Beis Hamikdash. He says the Chotzer of the Rashbi, that's the Chotzer, that's the Azara and the Beis Hamikdash. The outer room is the Heichal when you go in, and the inside is the Kodesh HaKadoshim, and then you go in there. It's the Beis Hamikdash during the time of Golus. But because any moment Mashiach is coming, and we're going to transition back to Har HaBayis, we're going to transition back to the Beis Hamikdash. It could be that we're in transition mode right now, and there is a relocation taking place. The whole Shechina and everything is relocating from the Galil and going back to Yerushalayim. And by the way, this Vart has some merit. This teaching has, even though it's my own thought, but I think it has some merit based on what the Chassam Sofer, when there was once a big earthquake in Tzfas, the Chassam Sofer has a tshuva. Ramosha Sofer, the great rabbi, Hungarian rabbi, but really one of the greatest halachic authorities of the last 200 years. So he writes, there was once a terrible earthquake in Tzfat and in the north, Tveria. Many Jews died. So the Chassam Sofer writes something very, very painful. He writes, Tava Yerushalayim Elbona. Jerusalem was demanding her shame. That all the people that are making Aliyah to Israel are going up to the cities of the mystics. They're all going to Meron. They're all going to Tzfat. Tzfat is the magnet where everybody's coming to make Aliyah. And Jerusalem is sitting neglected. Jerusalem sits in shame. So Jerusalem was demanding, and that's what caused the earthquake, the Holy Betzalel. That's what caused the earthquake in Tzfat. So, but that was, we know as Achana for Mashiach, Pnimius HaTorah had to come to the world. The secrets of the Torah had to be revealed. And the place of the revelation of the secrets of the Torah are in the north of Israel. But now that we're holding literally at the time of the transition, and we're moving back to Jerusalem, to Yerushalayim, that could be the reason why Meron is shut down this year. And we're getting ready for the great celebration with Mashiach Tzidkenu. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai is only a preparation for Mashiach. All the tzaddikim that were here, they're all paving the way. It's really one neshama. It's like the neshamas of, because we know Rashbi is the neshama of Moshe Rabbeinu. And Moshe Rabbeinu, Goyal Rishon, Goyal Achron. The first Redeemer is the last Redeemer. It's one hemshech. It's Moshe, Mashiach. No, the actual, it's like 5 tzaddikim. Moshe Rabbeinu, the Rashbi, the Arizal, the Baal Shem Tov, and then Mashiach Tzidkenu. That's the lineage, which obviously this is the conclusion. This is the entire flow of Pnimius HaTorah from the beginning to its end. That's why the Rebbe says the Rashbi is flows through the Rabbeim. This is mamish the lineage of Mashiach. This is the line of Geula that flows through the tzaddikim. As today was the yard site of the grandson of the Baal Shem Tov, famous Degel Machne Ephraim. So the Degel Machne Ephraim, who's an grandson of the Baal Shem Tov, today was his yard site, so we should mention him to connect to this holy tzaddik. So he says the famous word that the Rebbe brings in the Sichos, Ubnei Yisrael Yoitzim Biyad Rama. The Jewish people, it says in Parshas B'Shalach, the Jewish people went out of Egypt with an outstretched arm. The Targum translates, Ubnei Yisrael Yoitzim. The Jewish people, on the words Biyad Rama, the Targum translates Bereish Kali with in Aramaic, in a very public way, in a very open way. So the Ephraim of Sadlikov, I wouldn't have known it's his yard site today if not for my dear friend Yisrael, Rabbi Hecht. Everybody, shout out for Rabbi Hecht. So he told me today that it's the yard site of the Ephraim of Sadlikov, the holy Einikel of the Baal Shem Tov. And he writes, Bereish Kali, Bereish is Rosh Tevis, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. The Bnei Yisrael Yoitzim, the Jewish people go out of Golus with the book of Zohar, with Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And by the way, it's also Rabbi Yisrael Baal Shem. It's the same Rosh Tevis, the Baal Shem Tov. These are all the energies that the Jewish people are going to fire up the Jewish people at the end of the Golus. So l'chaim u'lebracha, we merit Be'ez Hashem from the simcha of us tonight over here. We'll have the great simcha. Although I have very, very little to do at this moment with Gashmiistic realities, with the physical world. Right now we are in the fire of the Rashbi, but I'm going to get beaten up by my team if I don't mention that today Mayan Yisrael is raising funds, money, to be able to do our holy work. So we're having a special campaign for 48 hours. And whatever you donate today gets doubled by matchers, by incredible, great people who care about the center and care about bringing Mashiach and the light that goes out of here. Outside, around over here, you'll see little cards that have a link to a charity site where you can donate to Mayon. Over there's a big sign in the front with a QR code. You can scan that code and help us out. Help us out all year long so that we can bring the wellsprings of the Baal Shem Tov, the wellsprings of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, and put them on fire to burn up the exile and light up to the Geula. So thank you. I also want to mention that tonight's event was sponsored graciously by Mordechai and Maggie Liederman. The Eibishter should bench them with abundant blessings, with infinite blessings, and I hope that their son over here is going to send them regards personally from the rabbi. Tell them that we bless them with abundant. Tell your father, tell your mother, incredible blessings. And l'chaim u'lebracha. Steve, what's your? No, a Levi. First name. I used to give him Aliyas all the time. Shmuel. That's right. Shmuel Yoina is a special yid. He's been the shliach. He's been the shliach from the Rebbe many times to me. He brings me whenever I need a blessing. He pops out of nowhere and delivers me something. I'm telling you, incredible stories I had with Shmuel Yoina. L'chaim lebrach. He brought me a kuntris once. Oh, that's not water. You're not going to get l'chaim from. Okay, you are going to get. The water is life, l'chaim, but l'chaim. Tonight, even water can give l'chaim. L'chaim lebracha. Good health for your parents, for your father, and only blessings to both of them. Only brachas. L'chaim lebracha. Yes. David Melech, Melech Yisrael, David Melech. What do you want? Oy leila no lechol Yisrael Guys, everyone, we need to evoke the powers of David HaMelech. Ayela no lechol Yisrael Hey! So you give it a chayim here. Alright, let me bring me cups. Amen. To you and your family, all the blessings. Hi. Handle as far as switch of us. Morning 30 minutes. Maybe we're now we'll warm it up. Hey, yeah, no, it's such a time, no, it's such a you're in front of me, hey, yeah, no, it's such a time, no, it's such a you're in front of me. No, I'm just gonna sing another nigga. Yeah. Why are you doing that? Why are you gonna shut it? I was gonna come from here. Everyone. You know, the celebrations, l'chaim, everybody should be gebenched with all the brachas. Celebrations of Rashbi is celebrated with boundless joy. And that's because Rashbi opens up Pnimius Haneshama. And Pnimius Haneshama is fire. And fire dances. Fire doesn't sit. Fire doesn't sleep. Fire is alive. Pnimius Haneshama is alive. And that's why when the neshama, when we tap into Pnimius HaTorah, When we tap in today's days, it's an obligation on everybody. Those who haven't begun learning Hasidus, it's an absolute obligation. This is mamish. What are we going to do when Mashiach comes? We're going to be learning Hasidus. We're going to be learning deeper Hasidus that Mashiach is going to reveal. Endless revelations of Pnimiyus HaTorah that it's going to be revealed. But as a chana for that, we learn. But anybody that knows, you start learning a little Pnimiyus HaTorah, it fires you up. And that's why the experience of Lag BaOmer is one of dancing. But in order to get the fire kindled, sometimes it takes, you have to put a little lighter fluid on, and you put a little chips in, you start a fire, it takes a while till it really catches on. So for that, we're going to sing a niggin or two, and then right after that, we're going to start the Be'ezus Hashem with the special Nagunim of Lag BaOmer. We're going to dance, we're going to fire up the Neshama, we're going to fire up all together until we end up in the Beis HaMikdash HaShlishi Be'ezus Hashem tonight. L'chaim u'lebrachos. So we're going to sing a niggin, two more, which niggin? Let's sing. No, but that's a freilich niggin. I want a more of.
We could do the Baditcheva one again.
Maybe you guys could play class.
Yeah.
Guys, we need everybody to join along. Chaim. If the guys will really sing, then we'll do the Baditcha V'Nigin. But the Chevra have to be with us. Guys, are you with us? In honor of, we sang a Nigin of Rabbi Aaron of Karlin. It's good energy. The Karlinas have a really good Lag Boimer energy. We're even having the son of the Karliner Rebbe speak to us at 3 o'clock a.m. No, 2 o'clock. Rav of Kal Chasidim, the son of the stolen Rebbe. He's going to be here tonight, giving a shiur on Lag Boimer for those of you who are brave to brave the night. But now we'll sing the Baditcha V'Nigin, and then we'll go right into the dancing of Lag Boimer. Chevra, but we need everybody together. Let's hold on. This niggun is an aside Rachmi niggun. Let's have in mind all of our soldiers that are out. That Hashem should protect them and watch over them. Let's have in mind all of our hostages should come home. Let's have in mind all the pain and all the hardship of the Jewish people for thousands of years of exile. Let's have in mind Mashiach Tzidkenu, who is in a lot of pain, waiting to come out and redeem the Jewish people. Let's have in mind the Shekhinah, who's waiting for us to lift her up and to go back to the Beis Hamikdash Hashlishi. So let's all, from the deepest place of in our soul, let's go.
privilege to come here to say the shir, and he told me to say a shir in Zohar. I didn't know that that is going to be like this. That we're coming to a time, a door that once upon a time you used to learn Gemara, you used to learn Shulchan Aruch. Today we have shiurim in Zohar. That's a very very big zechut. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai in the Zohar Kodesh in Parashat Noso says that it'll come a time before Mashiach comes, and that's what's going to happen. We're going to be, b'zchus the Zohar Kodesh, we're going to be redeemed from Golus. So I have to say Akdama. When we say Zohar, Zohar is a sefer which consists of many Sforim. There is the secrets of the Zohar, which is called, there is the Idara Rabbah and the Idra Zuta and the Idra Demashkina and the Safra Ditzniuta, and there's quite a number of Sfarim which are really secrets of the Zohar, which the Arizal elaborated and tried to reveal as much as spiritually possible. And then there's also something called Raya Mehemna, which is sort of a Sefer HaMitzvot of the Zohar Kodesh. And then there's also Zohar, which is like, it's sort of like Medrash, and it also works like Medrash. Now, I had a problem. What am I going to say? Rabbi Wolf asked I should say Zohar Kodesh. I was looking here and there. I was thinking, what could I do? And in the end, I decided there is something called the Chokli Israel. And everybody from the old generation, they know what that is. The Sfaradim today, they still learn it religiously. It's a thing that's, I guess, it all Klal Yisrael all together, puts them all together. And we learn Holy Ari. On Sunday, you learn, I think, 6 psukim of Torah, Nevi'im, Meksuvim. And then you learn Seder Zroim on Sunday, and then on Monday, it's Seder Moed. You learn 4 psukim, and then on Tuesday, it's 5 psukim, and it's working throughout the week. And that is really, according to the Shemot HaKadoshim, the Milui of the Shem Ben, and there's all types of kavanot. But I have to say, before we start learning, there's a few words at least to understand. The Zohar can say something which can be translated by the Sonsino press, very, very simple words. But as you know, we don't translate, like when you translate the Torah, when it says something in the Torah and you want to translate it, it's not really the meaning, right? We know, as Jews, we cannot translate literally the Torah. We have to have the Torah Shebaal Peh, which comes together with it. And this, even more when it comes to the secrets of the Zohar is saying words. And each word is meaning something in the Shemayim. Now, we know that maybe there's Avodas Chasidus, the Chassidim, they work on themselves, on their midas, and they use also the same terminology. But the Zohar apparently seems to be talking about a lot about what you do here, and you are causing in the Olam HaSailyonim all types of reactions. Like we say, a man is a microcosm of all the Olam HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it like that. And whatever there is here in the world, whatever you do, whatever you move, whatever you speak, whatever you think, you are causing things happening in the higher worlds. When you think, it goes to the highest worlds. Like Adam HaRishon, when he did the chet, whatever it was, eating from the Eitz HaAdas. So, Al Pi Kabbalah, it doesn't seem that he did anything physical. He was, if you learn, you see that it was something that he was doing kavanas, which there was something wrong in a way that he was thinking, and that caused a lot of problems. But of course, Adam HaRishon was very, very, very great. He was Yitzir Kapam Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and everything that he did, even the slightest mistake, which we wouldn't even know what it is, but the Torah wrote it out as he ate from the forbidden fruit. there is a sefer that was written 750 years ago, and the Arizal holds very highly of it, and a lot of Chassidim used to learn it. It's called Shari Oira. Over there, he talks about the Shechina, and this is what we're going to talk about tonight. And I chose this portion from the Chokl Israel on Wednesday, and if we have time, we'll go on the Thursday one. It's a Parshas Behar. But before we say that, I want to just say just a little bit. He says, "Vilifamim sometimes nikres midah zu." This midah that we talk about tonight is called the Shechina. And the Shechina has got a lot of names. One of the names is Malchut. And we're going to see when we're learning Zohar that it has other names also. And the Shechina was Shoichen im Yisrael Tamid, was always dwelling amongst the Yidden, Mishat Asiyat HaMishkan, from the time that the Mishkan was built. And then he says, do I have to translate every word, or it's understood? You have to know a big principle. You should know, when the Eibishter created the world, the Iker was that the Shekhinah should be down here, right down, mamash, in the earth. Everything was created for that purpose. Elyonim keneged elyonim, tahtonim keneged tahtonim. Everything corresponds with something up in the sky, and everything's connected. And it's one big connection. That's the way it was meant to be. And therefore the Shekhinah was dwelling right down the lowest place, and that was very good because that connected the Elyonim Tahtonim, this was the whole purpose of the whole Bria. And when the Shekhinah is coming down lemata, everything's joined together, and that's beautiful. Everything's working perfectly. What does it mean, Vaychulu Hashamayim v'Haaretz v'chol tzevaam? The simple meaning is it was finished, but here he explains nishtachlelu. That means everything was perfectly put in place. Elu be'elu, all the let's say the pipe system or the electrical system or whatever it is called. The tzinorot, we call it tzinor because there's special reasons why we call it tzinorot. Like the pipe work, it was all put together. Elu be'elu, each one, benitmalu elu me'elu, and the shefa from the top to the bottom was coming. Everything was flowing very, very well. Everything was working perfectly. And that was the way it was meant to be. And Adam Rishon down here was going to do his work, and everything was going to be connecting the whole time and flowing from above to below. All the shefa and the toradut of the maaseh that we do here is opening the hashpaot. Nimsa Hashem yitbarach memale ma'ala u'mata, and comes out that Hashem is filling up the whole world. V'simenach hashamayim kis'i v'ha'aretz hadom raglai. That's a siman that the heaven is my throne and the earth is my footstool. Nimsa Hashem yitbarach haya sharui be'emtza, and Hashem was in the middle, controlling everything. Shaveh ben ha'olamot ha'elyonim ben ha'tahtonim. Then what happened came the head of Adam Rishon, and everything got messed up. And the pipes were all removed from their normal place, and the flow between the Shekhinah and everything. And I'm saying the Shekhinah, really there's more. We know that there's 10 Sfirot, let's say, but there's millions of different things, but let's just boil it down to 10 Sfirot, and we're talking about the Shekhinah, which is the 10th one, Midat HaMalchut. Came Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, and they started to bring the Shekhinah down. And then the Sefer goes on explaining and elaborating how everything was working till Moshe Rabbeinu came and he made the Mishkan and the Kelim, and the Shekhinah came down, but not completely to the earth till the time of Shlomo HaMelech. It's a beautiful piece here, but I'm not going to go into it now. Just want to say what he says here. What we have to let you know now, the work that we do is only exclusively for Israel. They work with the Shekhinah. והיינו דכתיב ועשו מקדש ושכנתי בתוכם. Yidden will make a mikdash for Hashem, a mishkan, and the Eibishter and Hashem will be resting amongst them and being dwelling amongst us. וכתיב אשר הוצאתי אותם מארץ מצרים לשלוחני בתוכם. That was the purpose of יציאת מצרים. The Shekhinah will be with us completely. וכתיב ונתתי משכני בתוככם. So we know that the Chassidim and the Sfardim and the Mikubalim and even everybody who knows a little bit of the Zohar knows that whatever we do is L'Shem Yehud Kudsha Berichu Shchinteh. And there is some tzaddikim that before they do anything, they would say L'Shem Yehud Kudsha Berichu Shchinteh, as a Chida, and Ben Ish Hai especially wrote a lot of L'Shem Yichud, so that you would do a lot of tefillot, that the Yichud, whatever mitzvah you're going to do, whatever bracha you're going to do, whatever thing you do is going to be L'Shem Yichud Kudsha Berichu Shchinteh, which is sort of putting the pipes together. When you put the Yud K and the Vav K together, then you're going to have a good flow. But the Hey is the Shekhinah and the Vav is Kudsha Berichu. And if those two are going well, then you hope that it goes higher and higher and higher, Lamala, Lamala, Gevoya Amal, Gevoya Shaimer, it goes to the highest places. Now, this is a little bit of a Hakdama. Let's take a look what it says here in the Zohar Kodesh of this week, of this Shabbos. And it's on Wednesday of the Holy Israel, if anybody looks into that. The pasuk says, "V'chit toimu," and if you say, "Ma noichal," what are we going to eat? B'shana shvius. If we have to keep shmita, if we're not going to work on the 7th year, how are we going to eat? So now, so that we should be mefarish this pasuk and this what we're going to say, like in the Medrash, Rabbi Yehuda Patah. Rabbi Yehuda opened up the discussion. He started with a pasuk that we say in Tehillim. Betach b'Hashem means put your faith in Hashem. Whatever you do, put your bitachon in Hashem. V'asei tov, and do good things. Shchon eretz, dwell on the land. That means you will then dwell good in the land. That means you live. That's what it says in the Rashi. And you will reap the fruits of the schar of the emunah that you trust, put your trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that you relied on him to do tov, to do good. Now, remember what we said before, that the words in the Tehillim, the words in the Zohar seem to be very simple words, but they really have an inner meaning. And we have a lot of Pirushim on Zohar, but I'm trying to use the easiest and most understood Pirush. But we have to know that the Zohar is not just saying stam things, it's being mechaven to higher things. That means we have to know whatever we do here, if we say something good, then we're going to bring a lot of good hashpos to certain places. If we do a ma'aseh tov, it's also even more bringing down to this earth. If we have a machshava tova, and if we put our minds 24/7, shivisi Hashem, and you're thinking about the tovas of Hashem and thanking Hashem in your mind and talking about the gadlus Hashem, that is doing even more hashpos. And the more you are connected, the more like your remote control here. Your goof is connected to everything spiritually. So let's take a look. We're starting with this pasuk. And says the Zohar Kodesh, "V'chi toimru manoichal." Rabbi Yehuda started the pasuk. Betach b'Hashem, put your trust in Hashem. V'asei tov, and do tov. Shchon eretz, dwell in the land. Urei emunah. The pirush is le'olam barnash yehi zohir b'moreh. A person should always be careful to put all his trust, not his trust, but whatever he does, he has to be focused on his maker. And he says, La'olam, because this is forever. It has to be all the time. This is noyeg all the time. You can't stop even one moment, because this is the avodah for Yid. That's what we're here on the world for. That you have to put whatever you're doing, you have to put your machshava on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It doesn't make a difference if it's a good time or it's a bad time or whatever it is. You always have to connect to the Makor. You have to be meshatev. You have to take into the matzav HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and don't say that it's because we did this and because this happened and because in the news they said that. No, it doesn't go like that. Everything is with the sibais from above. It's got nothing to do with the things around us. It's maybe our masim that are causing maybe that things are not exactly the way we think they should be. But you always have to look at the Makor and not look at all the background that we have, all the things around us. A person should connect his heart, which means his mind, a thing that's called emunah. Emunah, which is coming from the Atzilus, from the high Oilamus. Now, I'm not talking about Atzilus now as the particular Atzilus. When I say Atzilus, I mean the Oilamus Elyonim. Why? Why do you have to connect your heart always to that? Begin the Eveshlim b'marei, so that you will be perfect, going wholeheartedly with your Maker, with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When a person is with a whole heart serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and everything he does is connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and everything is only for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and whatever he thinks is only Hashem. And by the way, when you say to a Yid, I love you, it's because Hashem loves you. When you tell your wife, I love you, it's because Hashem wants you to love her. And that's everything you do. Whatever you do, you have to know it's because Hashem. Whatever I'm doing is because Hashem. And you have to connect it always to Hashem and always be thinking like that. And when a person does that, when a person is completely with his full trust and his full connection, his full emunah, living a life of emunah with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, nobody can harm him. Nobody can do anything to him. Nobody can hurt him. Why? Because he is connected and he has a special hashgacha pratit, a special hashgacha from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There's always hashgacha pratis, but there are people who are more connected to hashgacha, and there are people who are less connected. People who are less connected, it's as if chas v'sholem, there's a hester, there's a block. But if a person is connected, then it's open. The flow is open, and the hashgacha is a special hashgacha, and he has a special protection. He's completely with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Like it says in the Mizmor, Yoshev B'Seisar Elyon, there it says, B'Tzeil Shadai Isloinan. It's talking about the person who's putting all his trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's one of the most beautiful Mizmorim, right? And over there it tells you how HaKadosh Baruch Hu protects you, Al Kapayim Yisa'uncha, Pentigov Raglecha, that you won't hurt yourself. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is completely protecting you. And no Maisa from anybody or anything in the world cannot harm him, even if they'll try to harm him. But there's a special hashgacha for him, and hashgacha from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and they cannot, unless HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants something, but he's in the hands of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There's nothing better than that. Tochazeh. So the Zohar says, come take a look. What does it say in the pasuk that we just started with? Tach b'Hashem, put your trust in Hashem. V'asei tov. So the Zohar asks, my v'asei tov. What does it mean, asei tov? What tov do you mean? Do good. So the Zohar says, Umeshiv, he answers, Hachitenin ela hachitenin, and this is what we learned. This is what we learned, and it's in a Zohar that came before, a few pages before. Ki be'avda deletata yitar avada dele'ela. When you do something down here on this earth, on this world, you are arousing koichos above, corresponding with what you're doing in the spheres, in the upper spheres. I mean, I guess here in this place, you all know what spheres is, and you know there's 10, right? And we're now focused on the 10th one, Malchus. And we've already explained it. The Ha'ikmua, this has been explained before. That when you're doing something, it says in the Torah, V'asisem oisam. V'asisem oisam means you are doing them. That means when you're doing something down here, you are doing V'asisem oisam up there. The Kabiyochol atun tavdun lehoin. You are doing all the connections of the spheres up on top, in the sky, in the heavens. And that's the shoresh of all the things that are coming down. So by doing the right thing, doing toiv, and we'll see what that means, you are going to be mamshir, shefa, and oil, and all the goodness to all the tzinoiros, or what they call pipes. But it's a big difference between when we say pipes and we mean tzinoiros when we say it in the language of the Zohar. But you're putting all the tzinoiros together. A conduit. Very good. Begin the ba'awit aruta dilchoin, because with that it orerut that you're doing down here, the atin of the netata that you're doing down here on this earth, you're doing mitzvahs, you're doing masim toivim, you're doing a tzedakah, you're doing a chesed, it aleela, you're now arousing those koiches up in the shorashim alemaila, it aleela in the sfirot ha'elyonot. And therefore, when it says valda, and because of that, va'asei toiv, it says. V'asei toiv ksiv. It says v'asei toiv. What's the pshat when you're doing toiv? You are now being metakin, the thing that is corresponding to the toiv. And what is that? Ve'ein toiv ele tzaddik. It's a bechina that's called tzaddik. It's called toiv and it's called tzaddik. What is that? So the Mefarshim explain that the Zohar, when it says toiv and it says tzaddik, it's talking about midas hayesoid. The yesoid is called tzaddik. The tzaddik yesoid olam. And when the yesoid is aroused to want to be mashpia, and also there's a pasuk that says imru tzaddik ki toiv. That means praise the tzaddik, which is toiv. So we see that the yesoid is called toiv. Why is it called toiv? Because it is going to be mashpia, to who we'll see now. Given the atun of din high, when you are doing toiv, you're doing tzedakah, you're doing mitzvahs, you're doing masim toivim, doing chesed, you are now arousing the midah that's called tzaddik, the midah that's called toiv. Vadai hai toiv yita. Automatically, you are arousing while you're doing the tzedakah. When you're doing the chesed, you are now arousing the midas hayesod that l'mala it wants to be mashpia a shefa to the bechina called malchus. Now, the malchus is the thing that is with us. That means when we're doing good things, the yesod is mashpia to the malchus, and we are the soldiers and the neshamas of the malchus, and then we get all the goodness and all the benefits. The aldo, and that's why it says kedein shchon eretz. Eretz means malchus. Emuna is also the same bechina. Malchus has got different bechinas, but it's all connected to Eretz and Emunah. So when you are doing Toiv, I say Toiv, then Shchon Eretz, the Eretz is now about to get all the ashpahs because of you. Because you're doing the Chesed, you're doing Masim Toivim, and the Yesoid is now, the Toiv is ready to be Mashpia to Eretz. V'kol echad. Eretz in Emunah, says the Zohar, is one thing. It's all Malchus. There are different matzavim that sometimes Malchus is called Emunah, sometimes it's called Eretz. It's got all different types of names. That's why I mentioned the Sefer Sharei Oiro, which tells you when it's called like this and when it's called a different name. But the Zohar says, as far as we're concerned now in this pasuk, when you're doing chesed, when you're doing masim tovim, especially when you're doing tzedakah, you are now me'orer the bechinas toiv, the tzaddik, imru tzaddiki toiv, to be mashpia in eretz, and now you can be re'ei, like re'im, friends, and be mischaber, joined together with emunah, with the malchus, and we'll see why now and not before. Reb Chaim Vital explains on this pasuk that he says, the pasuk is telling us, don't say to yourself that if I'm going to give away from my money to tzedakah, then I'll be lacking. But betach ba'Hashem, put your trust in Hashem, va'asei tzedakah, do the tzedakah, says Reb Chaim Vital, and with this you'll be metakin the toivo elyon, you'll be metakin those tzinoiros, those conduits, to be mashpia from the Yesod, which is called Toiv, and there'll be a yichud of the Yesod and Malchus, and then the Ashpois come down to this world. Then you'll be able, lishkoin ba'oretz, shchoin eretz, you'll be able to be with the Shekhinah, and you'll be comfortable with the Shekhinah. We'll see why, what's the problem not to be comfortable with the Shekhinah. But you'll be able to go, says Reb Chaim Vital, you'll be able to go around with the Shekhinah like an Ezrach, v'toishav, like somebody who's at home. And not only that, says Reb Chaim Vital, but also you'll be in a madrega of tzaddik, roye umanhig. That means re'ei emunah is not only enjoy the fruits of the emunah, but it means you'll be also a roye, like a manig, which is bringing to the emunah all the ashpoas, which is the Shekhinah. Like it says Reb Chaim Vital, tzaddik goyzer v'HaKadosh Baruch Hu mikayim, that you'll have this koyach when you're doing the tzedakah, when you're doing chesed, you'll be able to draw the ashpoas toivos to the Shekhinah, and you'll be like a balabos, and you'll be able to be ure'ei emunah. Now the Zohar says here, shchon eretz. What eretz are we talking about? Eretz ilah. It's talking about malchus, which is eretz ha'elyoina. Do'olesloch be'alma deyachal lemishre behado. Because malchus, when it is on its own, you cannot come near it. It's danger. It's fire. A person cannot be shocking with the Shekhinah. Even a tzaddik gomer stands no chance if he's with the Shekhinah alone, because the Shekhinah is full of dinim. It's a bechina that's the toikev hadinim is very strong. The only way you can get close to the Shekhinah, re'ei, to be close to the emunah, to the Shekhinah, is if you are me'orer toiv. You do the toiv. You do mitzvahs, you do masim toivim, you do tzedakah, and then you're me'orer the toiv, and now there's a connection of Yesod and Malchus, and then Malchus becomes so sweet and so pleasant and so good, because the toiv was nisorer to the Yesod, was mashpia chasodim, all the chasodim and all the good things, to be mamtik the dinim of the Malchus. Because Malchus without Yesod, the Zohar Kodesh says, is full of dinim koshim. Given the itale, and when a person, through maisim toivim, and through doing tzedakah, through doing chesed, he's me'orer the Yesod, which is the thing called toiv, right? Kabiyochel hu ovid lei. Kabiyochel, it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu rechentes for him, that he's good in all the Yesodis of the Yesod Elyon, that's mashpia in the Malchus. And this we have to know. When you daven, when you're saying words, when you're doing things, Don't think you're just doing something here on earth. Be'emes, a Yid, an Elech Yid who really goes with Pnimius, has to know that whatever I'm doing down here, I'm causing a lot of effects in the Olam Elyonim. And you don't want, chas v'sholom, that there should be a period. You want always there should be a yichud. When you're doing the yichud, putting together the Yesod and the Malchus, then you can dwell in the Eretz with the Malchus. You can go into the Eretz to dwell together with the Malchus, together with the Eretz, because all the dinim that are in the Eretz naturally have been nimtak. And now you can eat the fruits, and the peiros of your good work. The ishtasha ba'ada, and you enjoy together with the Shekhinah. That means you can be good. That's what you're doing when you're doing a yichud kudsha berichu, which is this yesod, in other words, with Shechintei. And the emes, that's what a yid does whenever he's doing a mitzvah. And then the Zohar says, Ure'ei emunah, re'ei is miloshen re'im, you become close. Do eretz, that's the malchus, that you'll be not only close, but you'll also be a roye, you'll be a manig. I saw in the Zohar there are quite a number of mefarshim. I saw one bechina is to be a roye, like a pastor, like a shepherd, who's being roye and moving the things along, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us the koyach and gave us that zchus that we have, that we can move things above in the heavens without phyllis, without maisim. And not only that you'll be a manig, you're being manig the things above, but also you can be a shochin, you can also be a roye, loshen reim, together with the Shekhinah. The koilachad, everything is one thing. That's the emunah, which is the malchus. That's the eretz. It's all a kinui to the malchus. Like you say, the emunasra baleilos, that the malchus is called emunah, and that's when there's darkness, when there's leilos, the emunah is shoilet, and you want that it should be the emunasra baleilos, that you are drawing the light and the ashpoes. That you put all your rotzen, and re'eh is also a lotion of rotzen. So we have re'eh, a lotion of rotzen, the Zohar says, and there's a lotion of re'im, to be close, and also to be a manig, and also, and here the Zohar says, you will lead the malchus wherever you go, with all your ritzonos. That means that you'll be a manig with every rotzen you want, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with you. And there's a pasuk that says Tzadik Moishel Yiras Elokim, and Yiras Elokim is also another word for Malchus. So that when the Tzadik, which is a Yid, doing tzedakah v'chesed and doing the right thing, then he is Moishel Yiras Elokim. He's leading, like the Zohar says here, Dabar La. He is given the koyach to be manig, the Indian of the Malchus. Then the Zohar says, but if you don't do that, if you don't ma'orer the toiv, the yesod, and connect it to the Malchus by doing the right things, ma'asim toivim and chesed, and doing mitzvahs and doing good things, and you're not mamshif the shefa of the chasodim that are coming via the yesod, which you're meant to be arousing to the malchus, then chas v'sholem misrachak mina, then the yesod goes away from the malchus, it's misrachek, v'lo tikra bahado. And you better also watch yourself and not go next to it, because it's very dangerous. Because now if you're trying to work with Malchus and trying to do Yichudim, you'll be nichshel. Like that I don't want to say, but that's what happened when big people, they tried to do an avoida, maybe that was other Mauritian, tried to do an avoida without using Yesod and Malchus together. They just tried to use it with one channel. That's very dangerous. And then don't come next to it, because if you're going to daven without this, then don't go next to a fire that's burning with dinim, koshim, with tough dinim. You have to be mamtik the malchus, and if it's lacking this, I'm talking because there's lacking mitzvahs, there's lacking chesed, there's lacking masim toivim, then even if you're going to daven, but you're going to chas v'sholom get hurt, because the malchus without this is it's a atun nura yekida. It's like a fiery furnace. V'itika ba'ada b'tchilu. But if you come be'ez hatzorech to daven, and you need to daven, it's emergency, so you better be b'yira v'fachad. You have to come with a big pachad. Command the dochil mimoisa, like a person who's afraid of death. Because the Eish of Malchus is burning. There's no amtaka. It's dangerous. It's dinim koshim. The world is getting burned because of the dinei Malchus. The world is chaos. But if you do ma'asim, the kivan the itel kibla ha'toiv, if you are ma'oira the toiv, you arouse the toiv, kinegda, the toiv, which is the yisoid, and you mashpia chasodim, to be mounting the dinim, kedein shore begava veloy tidchal mino. You don't have to worry, because you will be able to bask and to reap all the fruits of the avoid tova that you're doing by making this yichud and being mamtik the dinei malchus. And kedein, and then you azoiche v'tigzaroime, you say something, v'yokam lach HaKadosh Baruch Hu will fulfill it to you, val deruchecho noga oir, and on your ways there will be light. What time are we? We have more time, or we have less time? Where are we holding with the time? I think we're done. I would go to the next. There's a beautiful story coming up, but I think we'll finish with Val Deruchecho Noga Oir. What more do we want than Oir? The Eibush shall have and Schus Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai should be making on us, and we should be zoicha already to the tikkun of the Malchus, the real thing, the full thing, and its full koyach. And B'ez Hashem, we should be zoicha to the Gula Shlema. Amen. I have here some booklets if anybody wants, of the Zmirais and the pieces of Zohar for Rabbi Shimon. So I can leave some here if anybody wants, you can have. Okay. Welcome to you. Just see what I have here. This is Memoria Zohar. So you have Memoria Zohar. Yeah. There's one English of Rabbi Shimon. The other one is Memoria Zohar. Okay? Yeah. I have whatever you want. 1 second. I'll leave some here. I don't know how much to live. Okay. Yeah.
It's all the same thing?
No. This is the Zohar and this.
Yeah.
As you get one, Joe?
who worked in the entertainment, worked in sound. He was,
That's all his family. All his family.
but he didn't, he met me, I was in involved with Shuba, and he had left. But he was like, he had this sort of, he was drawn and he was repelled. I just, when I heard your name, I wondered if he,
Thank you. Good night.
oh, okay.
Every day.
This is
The Wednesday. Today, the Wednesday. All right. So what is the good?
the youth. No,
The Yud
is higher.
That's
the Shema explained.
What's that? Okay. That's not connected.
So you want me to connect with you across the street?
I'll meet you downstairs.
We'll go right now.
Take care, it's not.
Oh, I couldn't.
Sure. Where are we going to the mikveh? I know we're going.
The next year is starting in 3 minutes.
You guys have a sort of a lot kind of common intelligence. Like, that's what I would say, though, for saying like, well, like that's, yeah. Well, that's, you should see what's on the ground, all you take is and I have never.
Himmanu and Gairaleinu Beyedu.
Parents and alumni.
Right. I need a big coffee. Okay, guys, I'm gonna get a coffee.
All my girls got married in New York. See you guys now. They were so This is Jody.
First things first, huh? Yeah, but it helps the guy. This is fantastic. Thankful for you.
Okay, everyone, there's a very, 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 really, really, really delicious chili over there. Which I highly recommend. It's warm, it's not hot yet.
How about as a request?
Yeah.
Watch the yeshivas.
One second, Nate.
Yesterday to watch the yeshiva.
What is that?
Yeshiva,
Uh-huh. Oh no, I'm gonna be teaching you right away.
That's what we meet tomorrow morning.
Huh?
How about we meet tomorrow morning?
4
4 a.m.
tomorrow. It's today.
Today. When later. So we're meeting here at 4 a.m.
Have the link. Doesn't have to be on. Yes. Those. You don't see anything on the table. Over there, the table back here, there might be. We're leaving at 4.
We're meeting here at 4.
Yeah.
Started that this earlier than last time.
No, say like that.
No?
Maybe there's one around.
They're only online. Yes. Oh, here is the glasses. Good Tvach, everyone. Thank you for joining. We're on with our second class, special class for the holy night of Lag Bomer. Just give me one moment. Tonight, in this class, we're going to be discussing the great life, the awesomeness of the Holy Ari, the great Kabbalist. If we, as I mentioned earlier, when we think about the evolution of the Pnimius HaTorah, Kabbalah, and mysticism, we think about 3 individuals. We think about Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, the author of the Zohar, the Holy Ari, from the land of Israel, from Tzvat, not far from where Reb Shimon Bar Yochai lived and taught in secret to a small little group, the deep secrets of the Torah, 1,000 years before the Ari. And then the Ari in the 1500s in Tzvat. And finally, in the 1700s, the Holy Baal Shem Tov. It's the 3 of them that pass on the light of the deep secrets of the Torah to light up the world in preparation for coming of Mashiach. These are the main greatest masters of Torah Sasod, of the internal element of Torah, the secret of the Torah. You know, there is an amazing teaching. It says that the night, the Talmud tells us that the night is divided into 3 parts. First, so you have to take the nights and you divide it into 3 chalakim, 3 even parts. The first third of the night is the time when dogs bark. Second third of the night, donkeys bray. It's mysterious, cryptic teaching of the Talmud in Masechtas Brachos. And the last third of the night the baby is nursing from the mother. And a woman is talking to her husband. Isha mesaperes and baila, a woman talks to her husband. The commentators explain, that the meaning of that is that because of the last third of the night, it's getting closer to day, so the baby wakes up because the baby is hungry. So the baby has to nurse. Last time the baby was fed was before the baby was put to sleep, at the beginning of the night. This time the baby's hungry, so the baby wakes up. Even a nice disciplined baby, it's towards morning, the baby is hungry, so the baby wakes up. Being that people are waking up already, it's getting closer to day, so husband and wife, they're roommates, they talk to each other. That's what the Talmud means when it says a woman talks to her husband. Obviously, the Talmud is teaching us something very deep and mysterious, but in the way of the Talmud, that it hides the secrets. So the explanation of this cryptic passage of the Talmud is to be found in a Hasidic discourse. The fifth Chabad Rebbe, the Rebbe Rashab, Reb Shmuel, Reb Shalom Ber of Lubavitch, the fifth Chabad Rebbe, explains. He says that the night that the sages are referring to is the night of the sixth millennium, being that the history of the world is divided into 6 millennia. The last millennium, which is from the year 5000 to the year 6000, which we are part of, being that in the Jewish calendar, the night precedes the day. Every calendar day starts in the evening, like Shabbos starts Friday night, then it goes in until the next night, and that's in every Hebrew day. Every one of a Torah calendar is starting at night. So first, before it becomes day, is nighttime. So you have to, the 1,000 years is considered one day, like it says in the verse, and in God's eyes, ki elef shanim beinecha ki yom esma. Like in God's eyes, 1,000 years is a day. But the day has half night and half day. So the first half of the night, which is the first 500 years, first half is night. Second half of the night, the second half of the day is day. According to that, from the year 5000 to the year 5500 is nighttime. From the year 5500 to the year 6000 is day. Where are we? We are already in the daytime. We stand today 5784. Last week I was out hiking with my wife, and we were out on a trail, and this fellow looked, he didn't look like a type of guy that I would expect to say this. I was wearing a cap, a white cap. I don't know how it ended up in my house. You have them with caps. Someone left it there. Purim. I don't know how it got there. I found the cap. I was wearing the cap. It's a white cap, and it had big letters 5784 on it. This guy is walking towards us. I wasn't too happy to see him because I got a little nervous. He had a big pit bull, and the pit bull was not on a leash. He's walking up towards, and he looks a little bit like he just came out of a treatment center. First day. The whole scene was a little, and I'm alone on the train with my wife. This guy's come with a pit bull right over me, and I just was a little like, there was nowhere to go. So, okay, we're going to say, I smile. And he walks by me and he says, 5784, he says. It was just 5757. I can't believe it. It's 5784 already? And I didn't even process what he was saying. And I was laughing. And then it took me like after he passed already that he said, just funny. This just happened last week. I said, I should have put him on tefillin. Probably. I always carry tefillin with me when we're hiking. So we meet a lot of Jews on the trail. But this was just an interesting one last week. We are now at 5784. We are Friday afternoon. We're already after midday on Friday. We're getting very close to Shabbos already. And this is the time for Mashiach, this period. Friday afternoon is Mashiach's reign. This is the time. But anyways, daytime became in the year 5,500. Now let's translate that into the Gregorian calendar, into our other count, more secular calendar. The year 5,000 is the year 1240. That's when the year 5,000, we hit 5,000. So 500 years later is 1740. The nighttime of Friday, Thursday night going to Friday is from 1240 to 1740. That was a very dark period of time. A lot of persecution, a lot of darkness. So the fifth Chabad Rebbe says it's those 500 years that we have to divide into three parts. If you divide 500 by 3, it's 166 and a third for each part. Okay, so the first third of the night, dogs are barking. Not exactly sure. He doesn't explain what that means. The next seems like it wasn't such a nice time. Basically, that's what it meant for the Jewish people and for the world. The next 166 years, donkeys are braying. I don't know what that means exactly. He doesn't explain. But what he does explain is the last third of the night, which begins, which year? You take 166 plus 166, you end up in the year, which together is 333. That would be 5,333, which lands you in the year from 1240. You add 333, you end up in 1573. That's exactly when the Arizal appears in Tzfat. In the year, Arizal came to Tzfat 1570. He passed away 1572, 1573. So we're talking about this period. What happens at that time? We transition into the last third of the night. What does the Talmud say? The baby wakes up and the baby wants to nurse. Who's the baby? The baby's the Jewish people. We're the baby. We're waking up. We're starving for godly light, for godly revelation. The last time we were fed was when the temple was standing. We were fed through our prophets, spirituality and godliness. But we haven't been fed through them. The exile is called a sleep. We've been sleeping through exile. But now we're waking up towards the day. We're waking up to Mashiach. And the time of Mashiach is going to be the time of the biggest feast, the feast over here represents the secrets of the Torah that are going to be revealed. But before our stomachs can stomach the real food, we need to get used to it first, like a baby has to nurse first. So the Arizal was the mother that God sent to nurse the Jewish people with the milk of the secrets of the Torah. And that's why we had this incredible soul of the Holy Ari in Tzfat, which was like from a complete different world. We've never seen anybody like him. He wasn't just another rabbi and another tzaddik. Suddenly, like someone who was like completely above the cut of everybody else, but not even normally above. He was like on a complete different league. And all the Kabbalists, there were Kabbalists before him, but the moment they met the Ari, they all surrendered completely, all their Kabbalah and all their knowledge, and they all accepted the Ari as the ultimate authority in Kabbalah. I'm not going to go into, but the Arizal has a lot of chidushim. He has enormous amount of innovations in Kabbalah that the Arizal brought to the entire Kabbalistic thought. Advanced ideas that no one earlier, it's like he kind of was the Albert Einstein of Kabbalah, who comes in with a whole new ideas that and change the way of thinking, Kabbalistic thinking, from everything before him. Obviously, he was a super, super high neshama. Plus, he had Eliyahu Hanavi was sent to teach him, and other great. His soul would go up every night, and they would allow him to pick whichever yeshiva he wants to go to. He can go to the yeshiva of Rebbe Eliezer, who is the teacher of Rebbe Akiva, who was the teacher of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. In heaven, all the great rabbis have a yeshiva. They have academies. Their souls don't go anywhere. After they pass away, they just relocate and they open a yeshiva. The good part in heaven is that the yeshivas don't have to collect money. You understand? So everything is good. So, but they can learn, and the rabbis are not perturbed with anything, and they teach and everything. So he was able to. The Arizal would choose every night. That's what he said. That he would give in a choice every night which yeshiva he wants to go. Rabbi Eliezer's yeshiva, Rabbi Akiva's yeshiva, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai's yeshiva, and he would soak up the secrets of secrets of secrets that he was being taught, and then he revealed it to the world. It was at that time, because in the year he calls it Shnas Sheleg, the year 333. 5,333, corresponding to the year 1572, 1573. The Arizal was only known to his students as the great Kabbalistic master for a year and a half, for perhaps between a year and a half and 2 years. In 2 years, the Arizal downloaded what no one else downloaded. The amount of information that came from the Holy Ari in just 2 years, in less than 2 years, is indescribable. How he was able to transmit so much, because you have all the writings of the Ari, and obviously this was just a tiny little drop in the bucket of his inside knowledge that he had. And all of Kabbalah, it's all mavusas. Everybody, all the Kabbalists after him, all on this small little on the Kizvei Arizal. But it's such a short period of time, a year and a half to 2 years, and he passed away. Passed away just in a plague, but he passed away very young. He was 38 years old. But where was he earlier? So his story of the Ari really begins, he was born in Jerusalem. His father was Reb Shlomo Luria. His father was an Ashkenazi. His mother was a Sephardi. He was a blend. He was a hybrid. Ashkenaz, Sfard. Didn't happen in those days too much. Now you have much more mixed marriages like that. The days of the Ari, it was Ashkenazic Jewry, Sephardic Jewry. It was kind of, customs were very different. But here you had a mixed couple. His father was an Ashkenazi. That's why his name was actually, they called him Ashkenazi. Ari was Rabbi Yitzchak Luria Ashkenazi. His mother was Sephardic from Egypt. They lived in Jerusalem. The father was a great-grandson of the greatest. He was a grandson. He was a grandson of of Rashi. Great, not many generations. A Rashi, all the way back to a grandson of King David, of David HaMelech. That's why the students believed that Arizal was Mashiach. And he was that type of a person that could be Mashiach, like above, like beyond, like a mystery, like a godly being in this world. In any case, he was born when he was the story. Now there's a book called Shifchei Ari. I was looking for it on Friday. I wanted to, and I knew I have to give a class on the Ari, so I knew this is a book. This is a very, very makubal sefer. It's brought in Sfarim. They just bring the Shifchei Ari, which means it's the praises of the Ari. This is the book. I couldn't find the book, but today's days, you find everything online. You can download the whole book. Downloaded the whole book, and I did some Shabbos reading today. Any case, the story that is told regarding his birth was that the Reb Shlomo Luria was once sitting and learning in shul, and Eliyahu Hanavi appeared to him, and he said, "I am coming. I'm an emissary of God. I'm coming by Meshlichus that Hashem sent me to you. God sent me to you to let you know, to inform you that your wife is going to give birth to a child." And he told him the name. You should call him Yitzchak. He's going to begin assisting the Jewish people. He's going to begin assisting the Jewish people from all the klipos, from all the shells, from all the dark forces that have been holding the Jewish people in an iron grip. He's going to begin to wrestle the Jewish people out from the grip of the klipa. We know that the teaching of Kabbalah and mysticism is what really, really infused the Jewish people, enable us to be able to overcome the evil inclination. We know that without the proliferation of Kabbalah, what happened in Germany and all the other places where the Haskalah took hold, which the Haskalah means the Enlightenment. It's not too enlightening, but it presented itself as the enlightened world, which brought secularism to Jewish people, would have completely wreaked havoc, and there wouldn't be any observant Jews left. It was only the Kabbalists and the infusion that came first through Kabbalah and then through Hasidism that infused the Jewish people and gave it its energy to be able. It's like getting getting a protection, that we were immune. Even like this, so many fell, but yet the Jewish people were immune to this, and were able to withstand the temptation and the darkness of the last few hundred years of the exile. Or else the exile would have sucked us all up like quicksand. We would have gone right down. Or like a big, massive black hole. The reason we were able to survive was because of the mystics, because of Teiras Hasoid. And even those who don't learn Kabbalah and don't learn mysticism and don't see themselves Hasidim were in a roundabout way influenced by it, because these teachings made its way into everywhere to infuse a sense of a higher holiness into the Jewish people to keep us afloat. In any case, so that's what he meant, I believe, when he said that he's going to start helping the Jewish people from the klippas, from the forces of darkness. And through him, many souls, this is what Eliyahu Navi says to his father, many souls of the Jewish people are going to be saved, are going to be corrected, they're going to be rectified. Souls that came in a Gilgal, souls that came in a reincarnation. He's going to reveal secrets of the Torah that are hidden. He's going to explain the book of the Zohar. And most of the Kizvei Ari are based on the teachings of the Zohar, but he opens up the Zohar. No one understood the Zohar. And his renown will go out in the entire world. Here you have a tzaddik who was revealed as a revealed tzaddik for 2 years. And yet there isn't any Jewish person who observes Torah and is somewhat connected to Torah and mitzvot that hasn't heard from the Ari. The Ari is like, it's like, because even though, again, he was in such a short period, he influenced the world in such a magnificent way. So that Eliyahu tells the father, be careful with him and don't circumcise him until I will come and I will be the sandik. I will hold the baby by the bris. Anyways, and then Eliyahu Navi disappeared. The father remained in the shul all day long. And he was weeping, he was crying, he was so moved by this that he would merit to have such a child. And he was praying and praying that he shouldn't ruin it. He was so afraid that he'll make a mistake, he'll sin, he'll do something, he'll mess it up. You realize when you're entrusted with something so great, what happened? The tiniest little thing, and you can lose the zchut, you can lose that merit. And he was begging and crying God that he shouldn't forfeit it. In any case, he didn't even tell his wife. Didn't tell anybody, nothing. And a while later, she's pregnant. She gave birth, and when he was born, like the whole house filled with light, like Moshe Rabbeinu. He was very happy, and he came the day of the bris. Eliyahu told him not to make the bris until Eliyahu will come. So he had guests, and people were coming to the bris, and everything, and everybody's waiting for the bris to start. But he's looking and scanning the room the whole time. He's trying to see the man that he met then, and he's nowhere to be found. That's the way usually the stories go, right? Nowhere. Eliyahu promised he's coming, he's not going. And everybody's saying, no, you're like, no. Because you know what? They don't let you touch the locks until the bris. The Jews are getting impatient. They really knew. Any case, he said, nah, they're still waiting, relatives, and he's trying to cover it up. And after a while, it's not happening. And he realizes that the people that's not going to happen. If he doesn't do the bris, they're going to grab the baby, do the bris, So he in his heart, he's crying and he's saying, I must have done something that I lost the schus for Eliyahu Navi. And at that moment, Eliyahu appeared. And Eliyahu came and Eliyahu said, okay, we're ready to make the bris. And he said, the reason I didn't come till now was because I wanted to test you if you're going to keep what I told you. If you're good at following directions. I told you not to do the bris until I'm here. Anyways, it's funny because initially it seems to imply that Eliyahu said I'll be the sandik. Then it says that Eliyahu was the. Let me see. He said, go to the mizbeach. He called it. Go to the mizbeach and offer up the korban, which was like the bris milah of the Holy Ari. Any case, because he's going to be completely given. This is a child that is going to be given to Hashem, like Shmuel Hanavi, like completely to God. He said, you sit on the chair, and I'm going to do the vani. I'm going to be the moil. Eliyahu Hanavi said that. Anyways, they got the baby. Eliyahu himself went to get the baby from the mother. No one saw Eliyahu, so it was weird how the baby was passed around. This is what it says. The people didn't see him, or maybe they saw him as a regular person. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but again, I'm reading it as it relates in Shifchei Ari. In any case, it relates And the baby was healed. The bris was done, but the baby had this like refuah instantly. And when they took him, and then when he became 3 years old, when they took him to Cheder and he started learning, by 4 or 5 years old, he knew all the Chumash, he knew all the Torah, he knew of Tanakh, he knew everything. He was way above all the other kids. And then when he was 7, 8 years old, he was a master in the Talmud, like an incredible tefis, everything he grasped, everything he remembered. At that time, his father passed away. So he was an orphan when he was about 6 or 7 years old. The mother couldn't support herself. And she knew she has a prodigy son. And she knew he needs a lot of books. She couldn't afford to buy many books. So she said she had a husband. She had a brother in Egypt that seems to have been well-to-do. So she told her son, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to leave Jerusalem. We're going to go to Egypt. And I think he went to Cairo. And over there, my brother will take care of us. Good. So she took her son and he agreed to go with his mom. And there, his uncle hired for him a great Torah genius to be his Rebbe. Let me see over here. If he immediately went to him, what happened? Oh yeah, he got. I don't know. Those who study Talmud will know the name Rebbe Tzalel Ashkenazi, who at that time was living in Egypt. Who is Rebbe Tzalel Ashkenazi? He wrote a very famous book that whoever learns in all yeshivas, it's called Shita Mekubetzes. The Shita Mekubetzes is a great companion for learning. He gathers together all the Rishonim, all the early commentators, and so forth. He was the Rebbe of the Ari. After 2 years of studying with him, the Ari his knowledge surpassed all the rabbis of Egypt. Everybody, all the Chachamim, everybody that was there, no one can keep up with him. He tried to discuss Torah with him, he was way above them. At that time, his uncle, who had taken him in, his uncle's name was Mordechai, he gave his daughter to marry the Ari. So they got married at a very young age. And one day when the Arizal was in shul, so till that time he was learning he wasn't studying secrets of the Torah till his marriage. He was studying just Talmud and so on and so forth. But one time in the second year of his marriage, he suddenly sees a person standing next to him during davening, and he sees that person has a book, and in the book it seemed like the Arizal looked on over what's in the book, and he sees that there was a book full of sodas, full of secrets. And the Arizal became very curious, and he asked him, he came over to the person after davening, and he said to him, what does it say over there? And the man said, I actually am one of the Anusim. This was right. I was one of the Moranos who just got out of Spain. I grew up, I don't know how to read even. I don't know much. I managed to escape. Now I'm here. He says, and when I saw someone praying, I also needed a sefer. He says, and so I grabbed and I took a book. I don't know what this book is all about. So the Arizal said to him, so you know what, sell it to me then. Because he said I went to a market, I needed something, and I bought a book, and this is what I bought. The Arizal said, give me the book, and I'll give you a siddur in exchange. So the guy said to him, what do you think? I'm not looking to sell. It looks like this is a good book. If you want it, I want it too. You understand? So he said, but if you speak to your father-in-law, I know who your father-in-law is. The father-in-law was a big macher there. And he said, meaning someone in charge over, and he can give you an exemption for tax. So he says, if he can give me on my merchandise, if he can give me a tax exemption, your father-in-law will give you the book. So the Arizal went to his father-in-law and affected him that he was very much, he said, I want this sefer. The father-in-law respected his son-in-law very much. He gave the guy the exemption on the tax. He gave him the book. And which book it is, which sefer it was, it doesn't say over here. This was the Arizal's introduction into mysticism. I mean, he must have learned already before that. But I'm not sure. And but the Arizal he went into seclusion. And he made many mortifications and segufim and fasting and all kinds of things. And he would also go a lot to the mikveh. And he cleansed himself very, very deeply. And then in the dream, he would completely immerse himself deeply in the secrets of the books that he was reading. And at night, they would tell him, he would have dreams, and they would tell him that he didn't understand the passage well. When he thought he understood the Zohar, he misinterpreted it. And other times they would tell him that what he understood, that he did understand it correctly, but not the intention that Reb Shimon Bar Yochai had when he wrote it. So even though he had a proper understanding, but there was a much deeper understanding to it. And other times they told him that if he wants to understand what it is, he needs to cleanse himself even deeper from the physical state that he's in. He has to purify himself even deeper. And he would do much fasting. He was completely like hardly anything physical to him. At this point, he studied in Egypt for 6 years, day and night, with extreme holiness, till he merited. Here is where he brought this idea that he merited that every night they would take him up to the various different chambers, ask him which yeshiva he wants to go to. Rabbi Eliezer, it mentions Rabbi Akiva, Rashbi, and that's where they would take him, and they would reveal to him the biggest secrets. In the morning, he never forgot anything. Everything was like a sponge. Everything was registered. He had it all in his head. It even says a famous story. This story is brought in Likutei Torah from the Alter Rebbe. Alter Rebbe brings the story. This story didn't happen then. The story must have happened after he was already in Tzfat. Just to say like, what the Arizal would experience in his dreams when he would go to sleep, the secrets that were revealed to him. The Arizal had a student, his name was Rabbi Avram. And Rabbi Avram, once it was Shabbos afternoon, the Arizal took a nap on Shabbos afternoon. And his student, maybe it was time to go to Mincha or whatever, and the student woke the Arizal up because he was sleeping a little longer. So the Arizal rebuked him. Why did you wake me up? He said that when I was sleeping right now, I was being shown such secrets in the story of Bilam and Balak. Actually, not Bilam and Balak, in the story of Bilam and the donkey. The story with Bilam with the donkey, right? When he cursing, and he wanted to curse the Jewish people, his donkey and his leg got caught. And then the donkey talks to him. In that parsha of the Torah, they revealed to me such secrets that if I wanted to teach it, it would take me 60 or 80 years. 60 or 80 years to record what I learned in this hour nap that he had. Which is really, really strange because, as I mentioned earlier, the Arizal was only revealed to his students as the master of Kabbalah, and he revealed his teachings for only 18 months or 20 months. That's it. So that was not even what he learned in one nap. Imagine what he had accumulated in his head. At a certain time, once the students asked the Arizal that he should share with them, what he saw when he slept. And the Arizal said that you can't, there's no way I can share this. It's just beyond. So they said, but give us something. He said, no. He says, the information by me is so much, and it's so concentrated that if I'm going to open up one tiny little thing, it's going to flood the floodgates. They're going to come out with such a thing, and it's going to flood the world. It's too much. He says, what I have to do is I have to look for a tiny, tiny, tiny little pipeline. Whenever I'm teaching, I have to find a small little, like a little hair, like a little type pipeline that I can feed my teaching through in such a way that you're able to receive a small little tube, hardly anything. Drip, drip, drip of the holy knowledge of the Ari. Any case, at a certain time, the Arizal was told from heaven that he should go to Israel and that he has to, basically the information that was given to him was that he has to share it. It belongs to the Jewish people. It's not just secrets for him. This is what the Jewish people need, and the rights, but he needs to have the right students who are able to receive it from him. The students that were able to, and it was one particular student, Rabbi Chaim Vital, that was going to be the main recorder of the Arizal's writings. The Arizal actually was warning others that they shouldn't write his teachings. The only one that was allowed to write was Rabbi Chaim. But he was told from heaven that when he's going to go to Tzfat, over there he's going to meet his student, Rabbi Chaim Vital, and he's going to be able to teach and give the gift to the world what he was taught. The Arizal came to Tzvat. When he came, he was still in the background. There was another great Kabbalist at that time, Rav Moshe Cordova, who we spoke about him a year ago, like Ba'omer, when I gave over the whole history of the Kabbalists until the Ari. So there was a great, known as the Ramak, Rav Moshe Cordova, wrote very, very important works on Kabbalah, works that are used by or built, Hasidus uses. It means the Ramak, even though the Arizal advanced Kabbalah much further than Rav Moshe Cordova, and in many ways rejected the previous Rav Moshe Cordova's take on certain things, the Arizal revolutionized and came with new, but yet we don't chas v'shalom dismiss the Ramak. The Ramak is still considered a giant of giants. So, Cordova, yeah. So the Ramak, but the Arizal was a student of his. When he came, the Arizal, even though the Arizal was far more advanced, but since the Arizal came, the Arizal's time, and the Ramak passed away, also very young. And when Rav Moshe Cordova passed away, he said that the next rabbi, no one knew that the Ari was amongst them, that he was just one of the students. Rav Moshe Cordova said that when I pass away, the one who's going to see the pillar of fire over the Aron that they were taking him, over his bed when they were taking him there, he's going to be a next leader. So during the funeral, it was the Ari who saw this pillar of fire, and he told them where to bury him, where to follow the pillar. They didn't see it, and he was seeing it, and he told them exactly. So they realized that it was the Ari. And then they started learning from the Ari, and they realized that he was like somewhere else completely. So much so that when you see the students, when they speak to him, interesting phrase, they talk to the Arizal and they call him, they bless him all the time, and they say, Yechi HaMelech LaOlam, long live the king forever. They refer to him as a melech, as a king. They saw him like completely on a complete, not like long the teacher. Yechi HaMelech LaOlam is what's brought in Shifchei Ari, how this is something that you would say to a king. You said it to David HaMelech. That's how you refer to him. Yechi HaMelech LaOlam. That's how they refer to the Holy Arizal. Just to give a couple of little short stories of the Arizal's incredible Ruach HaKodesh and his ability to see. He saw in everything through and through, that you couldn't hide anything ever from the Ari. The first story they bring over here was bring some really crazy stories. I'm not going to say all the stories, but I'm going to get some. You want the juicy ones, huh? Yeah. One time they were learning with the students, and he looked outside in a tree and he saw two ravens. And he saw that they looked a little tzaflicked. They looked a little, they weren't dressed their best, these ravens. They looked like they had better days. Their feathers looked, not ruffled. Yeah. And so the Arizal called out to them, and he said, "You wicked ones, when you were alive in this world, you wanted to uproot an entire nation. And now you have the chutzpah to come to me that I should give you a tikkun and I should save you." And the raven suddenly ran away. And the students asked him, "What's this?" And he said that these two ravens were Balak and Bilam, who they took him out of Gehenna. They're in purgatory, but they took him out of Gehenna because they were preparing some other spot for them. And but meanwhile, they had a what do you call it? A hiatus. They had a little break. They had a little coffee break. So they came quickly running to the Ari to hopefully he can save them. And the Arizal that he should daven for them to save them from Gehenna, and therefore he said to them so. Here's a beautiful story. One time they were learning. In the middle of the learning, he told them, please be quiet. Everybody was quiet. And suddenly the Arizal said, the blessing that we say when something not so good happens. He said, Baruch Dayan Emes. Blessed is the one who the true judge. So they asked him, what was this? And he said that I heard right now that there was an announcement that was made in the heavens that a very big plague of locusts was coming to Tzfat. And it's going to literally finish off all the greenery. It's going to eat all the vegetation. And there won't be any food left in Tzfat. And the reason why this is happening is because there was one poor man. His name is Rebbe Altaraz, who's sitting right now, and he is having complaints to God on why his life is so, why he's having such misery in his life. And he's crying bitterly. And Hashem was not able to tolerate that his neighbors, that this guy is having complaints to Hashem, and no one is taking care of this fellow, this poor man. So because of that, it evoked by Hashem that Hashem got upset. And as a result, and therefore the entire city of